During the 24 years of my dealing with cancer, I've had several people ask me, how has the American Cancer Society helped me? One person even wanted to know how much of a check they gave me. That's not the way it works. The American Cancer Society, their mission is less cancer and more birthdays. So how do they provide that? During my first treatment with cancer some 24 years ago, the first thing that happened was the doctor says, well, you're lucky to have Hodgkin's disease in 1988. I thought that was kind of funny for him to say, but what he meant by that was that during 1988, the cure rate for Hodgkin's was 90%, and just 10 years earlier, it was only 10%. So those numbers had totally flip-flopped in just a short 10-year period of time. Well, those numbers didn't just change by themselves. They changed because there's researchers doing the work, trying to find a cure that had come up with treatments to make this change. So the American Cancer Society did help me. I just really didn't know it at the time. So we fast forward a little bit, about 6 months to a year later, the second time I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's, when I had gone back to the doctor for a checkup and they found that it had returned. This time, the doctor tells me that we're going to be a little bit more aggressive with it this time. We're going to use a different treatment that they had just started using. Well, once again, this treatment didn't just show up on its own. Researchers had been doing the work, and they had come up with a new chemotherapy regimen that they were going to use on me this time. So again, I was helped by the American Cancer Society, and I really didn't know it at the time. So I was clean for 18 years. I wake up one morning and I find a lymph node in my neck for a third time. This time I'm referred to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, which is one of the 4 hospitals in Tennessee that is funded partly by funds from the American Cancer Society. It's a teaching hospital. They have researchers there that are doing the work, again, trying to find a cure. This diagnosis kind of had me scared. I walk into the doctor's office and I start telling him about everything that I had read online about how bad this head and neck cancer was, the percentages of people that didn't make it out of it, the amount of reoccurrence. And the first thing that he says to me is that this really isn't that much. We can take care of this. So his confidence in knowing that they have been there before and beat that before immediately took away a lot of the fear that I had had. And again, funding from the American Cancer Society allows these doctors to do the research and the work that they do that gives him the confidence to know that he can treat these things. Another way that I was helped was that during the process of all this, I have developed some extreme dental problems, and those problems were from the radiation treatments that I've had, chemotherapy treatment that I've had, to the head and neck region that have killed my saliva glands, caused dry mouth, which in turn led to dental problems. And I searched for help with these issues, doctors that might help out, foundations that might help financially. It's an extremely expensive procedure to go through. I was hooked up with a patient navigator with the American Cancer Society that searched for a long time. They searched for a couple of months, but they finally did find a program that would help me. So through their help, I'm now starting to get some of these issues taken care of. Still working on them, still have a long way to go, but I've been helped several ways, and some ways that I knew about and other ways that I had no idea. But the American Cancer Society does great work for people like me that are trying to find a cure for people like me with cancer.